All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, welcome. Got a few people in chat here. Thomas, Aloys, Jun Huang. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too badly. Welcome. We're going to be getting started here. Looks like these guys are just about ready. So yeah, going to be doing a bit of King of the Hill action today. Back from vacation. Feeling pretty good. Had some nice time off. Haven't really played any battles since I've been back, but definitely looking to excuse me, get some battles in this weekend and hopefully some content ready to go for you guys. Yeah, doing some streaming. I'm all right on time, Livid Pile of Dirt. You gotta understand. The countdown always starts when the stream. Well, not always. It starts when the stream starts, right? So if the stream starts at 9, then at 9:10 is when we'll actually get going. Beastmen Chaos spawn? They're called elves. Yes. You know, Mole Spaghetti, the amount of time that it has taken me to do that video is the amount of time that it would take a full stack of zombies to crumble. That's just to put it in perspective for you of how low crumbling is. Yeah, no. I ended up having some tech issues. I was hoping on working on the script while I was actually on vacation because I had my laptop there. Like I didn't really want to play games necessarily, but I was down to just like sit outside, like in the view, type it out a little bit. Ended up being super rainy, which couldn't really sit outside, and the internet situation wasn't great. And also, anyway, there were some other tech issues. I forgot to save something in the right place, and I just didn't have time to actually work on the script. But I did get another video recorded. Speaking of Beastmen, kind of thinking about them, very appropriate that they're in the thumbnail today. I actually have recorded a new video about the Beastmen. You guys remember a while back I did that My 5 Wishes for the Greenskins rework? I've done the same video basically for the Beastmen, talking about what I would like to see in a potential Beastmen rework. And I'm going to be uploading that as soon as it's done. I mean, the audio's recorded. I just have to get it cut up, get the video cut up, and put together. But no, crumbling's definitely not fair and balanced. It just it takes so long to kill anything that it's also taken me an equally long amount of time to write the script. How do you beat dwarfs with a range spam build? Well, dwarfs are the best shooting faction in the game, so that's hard. Hey, what's up, Kyle? I recognize that name. What's up, man? Lore of Life should turn undead into living creatures, negating crumbling. That'd be interesting. Like if Life Bloom gave a direct damage to all undead units. Or what if, you know how Exorcism used to give minus leadership? Now it gives immune to psychology and plus leadership, which is great, but I think it should also give minus or just direct damage to enemy units if they're undead. It would be kind of conditional and would make Lore of Light extra good against undead factions. It's already pretty good against undead factions for both Lizardmen and for Empire. For High Elves, I mean, oftentimes you're going to run a caster that has some Lore of Light spells, whether that's Alariel or Teclis. Probably you're not going to run Lore of Light by itself, but like with the Empire, you might see Lore of Light actually there, or a Light Salon as well. You don't get the healing necessarily, but you do have like Barona's Time Warp, Nets, and again, you just spam Foz Protection on like a big horde of skinks, especially against someone like the Tomb Kings, can be very effective, for sure. Yes. I am not in Turin's faction tourney today. Actually, I might sign up if I can still. Let me see. Thanks for reminding me. I meant to sign up this morning. I have not yet. Let's see here. Upcoming tournaments. Those of you guys who don't know, there's a faction war here being hosted by Turin. Go ahead and log in. Do this. Sign up. And then while these guys are loading in, I'm just going to get my things squared away here. Here we go. Alright, and I'm officially signed up as the Empire now, so we'll see how that goes. We get some good replays out of that. No, magic resistance is only magic resistance is only against direct damage, and also, I was like, where's the music? There we go. Forgot I had changed up some settings to record some things. Anyway, here we are. Probably means the battle I uploaded the other day had no music. Yesterday, that's weird. Anyway, Bleak Swords, Corsairs up front. We've got some Reaper Bolt Throwers and Dark Shards with Shields. This is Coast against Dark Elves, which in my opinion, this is probably the toughest matchup for the Dark Elves, actually. They match up not super well for weird reasons against Tomb Kings, less so, but especially against Vampire Coast. Can be a very tough matchup. So let's see what Ice Power can do here. We've got a Necrofex. Interesting not to see the Regiment of Renown Necrofex here. I personally am a huge fan of the ROR Necrofex in this and a number of other matchups. Actually, I don't see him played super often. Kind of since I stopped playing Coast, it seems like people stopped bringing him. But he is very, very strong. Most people now go with this like bomber style thing to break up your enemy infantry when you really can concentrate a lot of that bomber kind of value in the Fire Necrofex. It's going to be very effective, given that the Dark Elves have kind of low range, medium range, if that makes sense. The crossbows themselves don't have very long range, right? Only 125, so you actually can't outrange them. The bolt throwers would be a bit of a consideration here, but you know, with the right build setup, you can try and do a mobile attack here, you know, while you're maybe pressing forward, tanking out some of the damage. As for a heroic core, we've got two Haunters, very strong, and the Pistol Admiral on foot, which I know is this is Adam Shadow here, is a heroic kind of core that he's a big fan of. Personally, I like having the Admiral and the Crab, and I'll go Admiral double gunnery white. But certainly the Haunters, very self-reliant and strong units on their own, very hard to kill. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know about the audio levels too, guys, since I was just messing around. It looks like things are fine on my end when I'm looking at OBS, but hard for me to tell sometimes. Okay, just getting some things adjusted here. When does my next tier list come? Oh, that's a good question. Probably once the beta patch goes live. I don't know, I still need to get some time in and play. It's hard for me to really tell you when it's going to be. It's more like I'll just wake up one day and be like, it's time, like today's the day. I know now. It's like love, really, in a lot of ways. You can't really force it. It's just when you know, right? You know when you know. And I know when it's time for a tier list, and I can't really tell you when that's going to be, because I also don't know until the time that I understand that it makes any sense at all. But here we are, going to be getting started. The Necrofex will be at a bit of a risk here to the massive bolt throwers. The bolt throwers can concentrate fire on him very well, but if Adam kind of takes a pot shot and then pulls back, kind of pulls up, takes a pot shot, pulls back, kind of cycles him in and out of the line of fire as much as possible, he can play up. I'm a little bit concerned about the lack of mobility here from Adam, though. I mean, he did go into Sartosa, perhaps baiting the Sartosan Free Company, which I actually don't think are very good in this matchup. I don't know, they might be okay, actually, trading into Dark Elf Infantry, but if you were to do something like that, I would think you'd want to go heavy with the Vanguard, take the two Haunters, certainly, but go with the heavy Vanguard of the Infantry and Hounds, actually. You could probably catch the Dark Elves off balance, because they really don't have many heavy units to be able to withstand a fast rush like that. especially if you come in with a big Overcast Dance Macabre on some of those Free Company. The militia there, nice burning head, just cuts through a few of those bombers. And you can see actually the bolt throwers, rather than concentrating on the Necrofex, which has kind of hidden itself somewhat behind a rock here, very nicely hidden from most of their fire. Instead, they're concentrating on the bombers, which are definitely good targets. The bombers are a threat to this Dark Elf infantry here, certainly. But it's kind of a weird situation to be in. The Dark Elves have a counter-skirmish advantage to a degree, 125 range versus only 55 of the bombers. Doesn't take much for the bombers to pay for themselves, keep that in mind. And the Haunters will also be absolute nightmare to deal with. Ask me how I know. I think it's about the same price. These guys are 500, right? So, I mean, you take 4 or 5 of them, that's about 2,000. It's probably about the same price as the ROR Necrofex, I think. If I remember right, I think it's 2,000. But anyway, the Corsairs look like they're going to surge forward, but in fact kind of countercharge back here. I do think Ice Power is playing a little bit too far back. He's going to get his bolt throwers compromised here. He's not going to be able to have anything to stop the Haunters coming through. I guess he's just kind of setting this up as bait, maybe, with the Dark Shards here, but really would have liked to have seen him play up. Because the zombies have 0 mobility here, you can play up from these bolt throwers and keep them online for a long time, but as it is right now, yeah, there's really not a lot stopping these Haunters from just punching through immediately, but I guess the Dark Shards providing some Overwatch fire here. We're going to keep it from getting too far gone. But, oh man, look at those bombers absolutely exploding these Corsairs, and then they immediately get terrified. That's all it takes. They're paid for themselves right there. That's all it takes. Another nice burning head in the back line, though, trying to silence those bombers. The last 2 units offline. Will it hit that third? Nope. Looks like there are still going to be a few online there, and this one on the flanks as well. Absolutely wrecked this unit of Bleak Swords. So, yeah, it's kind of back and forth, honestly. The Necrofex now, this is a bit of a problem, like I was saying. Oh, man, yeah, this Haunter got dealt with pretty well. And Adam wasn't able to push in time because zombies are kind of slow. Wasn't able to really compromise this bolt thrower, but I still think he's going to be able to maybe sweep up a couple of these units up and around. Maybe get these bombers in range and start bombing out the Dark Shards. That would be very effective there as well, but I'm surprised. The Haunter's actually taking a lot of damage here from those Dark Shards, concentrating there, and the Hunger's not quite enough to save them, but the Necrofex is starting to take some damage as well. These two Reaper Bolt Throwers, the fact they've been online for a pretty decent amount of time means they are going to be able to fire, and a very critical Murderous Prowess here kicking off is going to give a nice damage buff and leadership buff to everyone. Keep them in the fight there. Oh man, more bombers though. Getting rear charged a little bit late. Managed to get a couple of volleys off there, but the zombies, this is one problem about zombies. They're so slow to try and react to your opponent. That's one of the main problems with them, right? And you can see Adam is overrunning into the back line here, but just the speed differential between these units does mean that the Dark Shards can kind of kite it out here, and another beautifully placed Burning Head from Ice Power. Gonna absolutely wreck the one unit of zombies. The bombers will be able to somewhat outrun that there, but yeah, you can see the bolts starting to concentrate. All 3 bolt throwers still online, which is super critical here. They're not going to be able to work down that bolt thrower over time. The Morgul Haunters have pulled back. Now coming back in for another cycle. And this Fleet Admiral here, she's going to have to be careful. She's kind of far forward. The Witch Elves are coming for her. Because she's light armor, it counts as infantry. 70 armor is not that much. The Witch Elves will tear her up pretty quick, so she wants to get out of there. Also doesn't want to get enraged, obviously. Another bomber overexposed, gets taken out by the Dark Riders, so a really great job by Ice Power kind of sticking to his bolt throwers here and keeping them online despite everything. Now the Haunter's coming through for a concerted push, though. I do think the Witch Elves are going to get an enrage. I don't know if that's going to matter too much. The Dark Shards really need to start concentrating, and nicely done here, pinning these bombers in place. Yeah, Dark Shards, once they turn and focus here, should be able to get these Haunters done, and the Witch Elves coming for the Enrage should pin them in place, so despite the fact these Bolt Throwers are starting to get taken out, I think the coast is in a pretty good position. Necrofex is back here. It's actually crumbling. Yeah, it would be nice if it could try and use up some of its ammunition and at least maybe shoot at some of these Dark Shards. Those are probably going to be the best targets for the Necrofex there, but as it is right now, it's just kind of chilling back, just slowly taking that crumbling damage, and hopefully Adam's got a little bit of magic to heal it back up there. Yeah, those Witch Elves getting torn up, and even despite everything, the Haunters are still fighting here, despite all of the focus fire Overwatch, and the zombies are also pushing through, trying to disrupt this backline, so it's definitely not, you know, completely free and clear for the Dark Elves. That's this matchup just kind of in a nutshell, but nice fireball there, landing right on the Haunter. He's forced into crumbling, and as he's not in melee, he's not actually going to be regenerating here, but the second Haunter is able to land home, the zombie is able to land home as well. And the Necrofex is stabilized in terms of its leadership. Now can, oh, did get a volley there. Okay, so it's actually contributing a little bit of stopping power now as well. Hitting those Dark Riders. There's a handful of handguns. Ha, no pun intended. But here, this is nice. Once again, these Haunters get a little bit overextended in the focus fire from the crossbows. There's just not quite zombie support at the right time. And that really, a lot of it, again, comes down to the differential of speed of infantry, which is not something that's a typical consideration, but certainly in this matchup, anytime you're against the Vampire Coast, really, it's a consideration, but... yeah. Yep, bombers are very, very strong. That's why you see them a lot now. And I don't totally disagree with the pick. I honestly think, though, that you probably bring carronades instead. I could give you guys a build, but yeah. I would think you bring, rather than the regular Necrofex, I think you bring the ROR, you bring like 3 bombers, only like, yeah, 3 bombers and some infantry, and then maybe like 2 carronades as well. So you have a little bit more of a critical mass of artillery. You know, you have the ROR Necrofex to kind of break up the advance there. And again, this is just for a me personal thing. I would take the Gunnery Crabs, the Gunnery Whites with no abilities, just on the Crabs. They have the innate, you know, ammo for free, so the ammo give ability, right? So that's probably what I would run, and that, something I've had a lot of success with in this matchup. Yes, it is a Chaos spawn, yes. Yes, absolutely useless. Unfortunately, my graphics a little bit screwed up right now. I didn't have time to remake it, but yes, I will have something for tomorrow. Well, we aren't going to be going for too long today. Tournament is going to be starting relatively soon, so I'm playing in that. Yeah, they're very much a glass cannon, it's true. It's true, they're not too expensive of a glass cannon, but they are definitely one. GG. Nicely done from Ice Power. Yeah, like I was saying, I think if Adam would have gone for like a Vanguard Rush build and just try and surprise, I mean, granted, the Dark Riders do have a good charge bonus. They can kind of countercharge in that situation pretty well, but there's still a lot of light troops, like a nice swarming attack. You take out the Dark Riders first, you can kind of pick and choose your engagements in many cases, especially if you have like 4 Hounds and 4 Bats kind of out operating in this big mobile critical mass. Along with the Vanguard and Infantry, of course. You can also take some other Mornghuls for melee. I don't know, I just think you could have maybe pulled off something, especially when you're with the Pirates of Sartosa, kind of playing into that sub-faction. But another thing, as I mentioned, with the ROR Necrofex, just getting that flaming effect. I mean, burning witches is always a viable strategy, right? So it's about an hour and a half, so I don't know actually if we're going to get through everyone on the list today. But we'll see. Okay. All right. Yeah, hour and a half. Double Witch Hunter, Balthazar Gelt for the faction war. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm that good. I was thinking I was gonna run Volkmar in every game. Full faith, faith in the comet. Yes, something I don't know. Okay, so that's ready there. We're getting our next competitor lined up. Cool. Right? Like, when do I get my Hawkland long rifles and my, blunderbusses and all of that for the Empire? I would love... I mean, they already have way more ranged infantry than they need, but why not get more? Well, Eli, I think the answer to that is me. Definitely. See, you say that, Adam Shadow, but I think the Fire Necrofex actually has longer range than Dark Shards, right? So you can actually just blast them. And the thing is, too, you keep it, because Dark Shards have such short range, basically you have it support your front line, and because if it's far enough back, like near its max range supporting your front line, their Dark Shards are going to have to like run into the melee fight to be able to get in range to shoot you, right? So it's just kind of dependent on how you play it, but yeah. Yeah, double Witch Hunter and Balthazar Gale. It's pretty good. It's definitely pretty good. You get all the rustings. Just absolute memes. But let's go ahead and get excavation site for the map. Dragonhorn incoming. Oh boy. Oh boy. Don't bring Imric. Oh no. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, he's not Teclis or Lario, but you can bring him, certainly, just like you can bring Tyrion or Lithnar. Okay, sorry, just checking on some things over here on the side. Go ahead and ready up myself so that they know I'm ready to go. Yes. Yes, I might have misspelled the name on the actual list, but it's fine, no big deal. Yeah, tired. Anyway. Brings Teclis at such a time as heresy. It's true, Teclis is heresy. Too bad you can't burn him like a witch, though. You gotta smash him like a bug. Or just shoot him with all of the pistoliers. That also works, too. All of the pistoliers. Cheeky net. Quad pistol blast. Boom! 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 Maybe with a Luminarch follow-up, although again, the Luminarch does fire damage, so that's probably not ideal. Black Lions, I haven't been using them that much lately. I mean, I used them a little bit when the DLC first came out, but yeah. I think right now it's probably better to just bring 2 regular war wagons, like in lieu of that. Probably get more consistent use out of them. I don't know. They're okay. The thing is, it's like, it's only 100 points more to get a steam tank, and the steam tank is objectively much better. And yeah. Pegasus Pistoliers. Oh man, don't get me started. Don't get me started. I will request a mod, so help me. If I knew any good mod authors who would make mods for me. Just do a flying pistolier. I don't even know, because I don't know if the animations exist for the pistoliers on the Pegasus. I think you would need to make that. But yeah, unfortunate. SEM plus healings is oppressive? Not really. No, I mean, kind of defines the meta in many ways, but it is what it is. You can often get by without it. Like Ice Power's had 2 builds without that, really, and has done just fine. Now here, Lore of Fire, once again, we've got Bolt Throwers, Witch Elves, a whole bunch of infantry, and yeah, kind of nice wide build, repeater crossbow Dark Riders, and some Blackguard. Wow, 3 Blackguard, 2 Witch Elves, so a pretty heavy infantry force, all things considered. We have Volkmar, though, who is a counter in many ways to that. Spearmen, Free Company, some Flagellants, Great Cannon kind of up deployed near the side there. We've also got some Empire Knights and Silver Bullets. So it looks like, yeah, Huntsmen, Crossbowmen, Huntsmen. Wow, a lot of skirmishers. A little worried about that skirmish. I mean, granted, though, there's not a lot of mass here on this side, so it's going to be an interesting one. The 1 cannon versus the 3 bolt throwers. No, the Pegasus and riding animations are different. Yeah, they are different, because like when they're in the air, they like sit at a different angle, and it's a little bit different. It's not exactly the same, unfortunately. Now, if you all go and, you know, everyone posts on the forums and on Reddit asking for a flying pistolier unit, maybe CA will make one. I don't know. If I ever get to make my own custom regiments of renown, that will definitely be one. Interesting deployment for the cannon as well here. The fact that it's kind of on this reverse slope means that it's going to be hard for the bolt throwers to hit. Maybe not. Looks like they actually have a pretty good arc of fire there. But, yeah, Empire Force is going to be pushing forward immediately. The Free Company can act as a pretty good kind of screen here for the Dark Riders. Like, if they get shot by the Dark Riders, it's not the biggest deal in the world because they're pretty cheap. But, oh man, Huntsmen, those Huntsman arrows will hurt. The anti-large bonus going to be very good against the Dark Riders there. So I actually like the counter-skirmish option over on this left side. Bolt throwers going in heavy after the cannons, but that also means that they're not shooting Volkmar, right, this whole time. So Volkmar really just needs to get in and start plowing this infantry as quickly as possible. That's kind of going to be the name of the game for him. He's got a lot of work cut out for him. And basically the win condition for Empire is to keep Volkmar alive and destroy the supporting elements to do that, right? And so the Huntsmen counter-skirmishing against Dark Riders here, doing a great job. Like these Free Company can counter-skirmish as well. The Spearmen screening very nicely there. Volkmar now comes forward, gets a charge in the front against those Dread Spears, just absolutely ransacks them. See, and you can see why I say Volkmar is the win condition. He will beat all of these infantry units, no problem. Even the Dark Rider, or the Blackguards. Speaking of Dark Riders, though, they're getting worked over on this flank. Beautiful play with the Huntsmen there, supporting with the Free Company, Spearmen, everyone. Spirit Leech as well to pick away at a few models there. The cannon has been dealt with, and a Burning Head did roast out, I think, the Silver Bullets there. Nice high-value target, but at the same time, things are looking pretty dicey. I mean, a lot of the supporting elements being dealt with, Empire Knights are able to just about catch those Dark Riders and at the very least chase them away for the time being. Now they can start to work up and around this flank here, start to engage some of these various troops. The Free Company, if they can get an open field engagement, and look at this, kiting back with the Flagellants, drawing these Blackguard out of position so they can then get hit by the crossbowmen. Likewise, Volkmar's in here, juicing up these State Troop Spearmen. They're actually trading into Blackguard because of the buffs there. And again, the supporting Overwatch fire from the different angles. So really nicely done by Used here to kind of draw the various high-value Dark Elf units out of position here. And again, the Free Company, they can shoot while they're running. So as they kind of move to reposition here, they're going to be popping a few pistol volleys into those Dark Riders and continuing to deal with them. So beautiful play so far. One problem though, all the bolt throwers are still online. They're picking at these Empire Knights, generating consistent value the entire time. And likewise, I mean, the state troops are juiced up for now, but they are going to get cut up pretty bad by those Witch Elves, and Volkmar himself needs to be careful that he does not get enraged, because if he gets enraged on top of these Blackguard, that is one way that he can take a lot of damage. So, nice back and forth, a little bit of lag, looks like it's stabilized. But Dark Riders are going to be going in melee after Free Company. I honestly think the Free Company should just turn and fight, but it looks like the Witch Elves are also following up. Now, these Empire Knights could directly charge the Witch Elves, but it looks like they are going to actually catch the Dark Riders there and then rout them. They might themselves get enraged, but at least there's some support there. Volkmar now pulling back through his own lines, trying to get some more screen action going there. Hopefully terrify away those Dread Spears. And the Bolt Throwers have been getting some work done. Destroyed a cannon, now have destroyed an Empire Knight as well, but there's all this skirmish power left for the Empire that can try and concentrate. You can see the Blackguard have taken a lot of skirmish damage here. Beautiful focus fire from the crossbows. Using that nice, cheap, cost-effective AP. A super wide army here. Check in on Volkmar. He's doing okay. He's taking some damage, but at the same time, he's definitely giving it back pretty decently here, pulling through, kind of ping-ponging around these various Blackguard units. Nice little Overwatch there from the Free Company on the side as well, and Empire's looking in pretty commanding position here. I mean, it's certainly not completely over. We've got more Dark Riders over here, and with that extra melee punching power of the Murderous Prowess active, they can charge in and actually fight those Huntsmen in melee. So potentially pushing this flank and starting to roll up some of these skirmishers could get the Dark Elves back in the game here. We'll see. The Huntsmen still have a lot of models there, and they're not complete. Okay, they are complete pushovers. 16 and 17. Yeah, they're gonna lose that engagement pretty decisively. The Witch Elves also traded horribly into those Free Company, all things considered. I mean, the Free Company are like half the price almost, but another beautiful burning head here. Looks like the Free Company are not quite able to dodge that and just get completely roasted there. But the crossbows are going to be very key, and Ice Power also kind of blobbed up with a lot of his units here on this kind of one infantry engagement, which then allows Volkmar to continuously get in and out. Flagellants now getting into the back line, shutting down these bolt throwers finally, and we've got some isolated spears over here going to be helped by the Witch Elves, but you can see the Dark Rider push kind of was fended off there by some Overwatch, so really nice overlapping bow lines here, which is not something you often see from the Empire. It's a pretty unique game, I have to say, and good use of the crossbows, Huntsmen, and Free Company all together, kind of combined arms infantry. I like that quite a bit. Volkmar still getting tied down a little bit here. He really needs to get out of that engagement. Oh, nope, never mind. Just drop the Soul Fire, Volkmar. Burn the witches. Oh yeah, murder my frame rates. Volkmar is such a hard counter for Dark Elves, man. He is just a nightmare for them. That is going to be the game, I think. Yep. Still some forces kind of teetering over here. And the Fire Mage also throwing her fireballs over at the Amethyst Wizard. You know, Dark Elf leadership being what it is, they're going to continue to fight for some time, but I believe that's pretty much a wrap. Oh man, another Burning Head. The Burning Heads have been on point for sure. 146 kills for the Supreme Sorceress. That still wasn't enough though, man, somehow. Oh, and here comes a banishment on the Blackguard there. You can see the Free Company and crossbows and archers and everything. Yeah, I think that banishment is going to proc army losses. Yep. GG. Can Marathi take out Volkmar efficiently? No, not really. No. She has way less mass than him, regardless of her mount choice. So, no, not really. Malekith kind of can, but then again, you got to worry about the supporting knights that then charge in and get juiced up. Volkmar's just a menace. He's a menace to Dark Elves. Beautifully done. I like that Empire play. Definitely something I like to see. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just sneak on over here. We'll just, that one. Okay, and who's up next on the list? Take a gander. Okay, getting the next competitor lined up. And we'll get the next map locked in as well. Okay. Let's do... Oh, the double music. There we go. Okay. Wait. What's the counter to Volkmar? Yeah, I don't know. You can isolate him in melee, take him out, or just kill his army, which is certainly easier said than done. Like, just don't worry about Volkmar and just try and kill his army. But definitely trapping him with high mass units that do high armor piercing damage is the best way, but it's pretty hard to snipe Volkmar. Volkmar is one of the tankiest characters in the game. Yeah, so more often than not, your best bet is just to try and ignore him as best you can and just take out his army. Definitely Volkmar the Grim would have an advantage against Eltharion the Grim. I mean, in a straight-up fight, I don't know. It depends on faith of Sigmar. I mean, Eltharion's a fighter, don't get me wrong, and he has magic and everything, but can't beat Faith in the Comet. How do you deal with dwarfs that are spamming ranged? Rush, and disruption is the key, so you need to have tools to disrupt their skirmish tools so you don't just get your high-value units wrecked in the face. So, like, chariots are great for that, obviously. Certain monsters, especially cheaper monsters like manticores, feral manticores, quite good at that, or summoned manticores, obviously, can do the same thing. Any kind of vortex spells are great for disrupting a Dawi defensive formation, you know, and kind of breaking up their ranged units. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, dwarfs, they're the most powerful shooting faction in the game. They're good, don't get me wrong, but they're not. I mean, it's hard against a good dwarf player, but oftentimes the players who are playing dwarves aren't, especially on ladder, like they're not the best. And with a good kind of concerted rush effort, you can usually disrupt them enough and take them out. It's tough. Volkmar is tankier Grom. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, Volkmar is honestly one of the best lords in the game. He is a powerhouse. An absolute generator on wheels. Yeah. Yep. He recently made a list that I'm compiling. I've written the list. I haven't even got the outline done yet. But I have like a bunch of top 5 lists that I want to do, and he is on one of them. Yeah, he seems so weak on paper, except then you look at his ability set. His ability set's really what makes him good. You got 2 super strong support abilities, you got 2 super strong AoE damage abilities, and the fact that he has self-healing and is unbreakable on a chariot, has tons of innate resistances as well. Like, you look at his stats and there's really not a lot home to write, not a lot to write home about, but then you look at that bottom line with all the abilities and traits, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. I get it now. Free banishment 2 times, sure. Unlimited Grand Soulfire, Grand Hammer of Sigmar, and Grand Shield of Faith, yes. Magic and missile resistance on a chariot that is unbreakable. Yep. Yeah, his damage output really comes from his AoE damage abilities, right? He is still a single entity chariot though, and single entity chariots in general just tend to be pretty strong against infantry. Yeah, his regen is a stronger regen, exactly. Yeah, it's like a faster heals per second. Well, let's see what we got here. Bretonnia versus Beastmen. And it looks like we do have an Eye of Morslib, pretty decent pick here. Bunch of Ungor Spearman Herd, staunch line of Beastie Spears. We've got Butchers of Kalkengard, Lore of Death, Lore of Beasts, Blackhorns Ravagers, and yeah, a whole bunch of Centaurs of Throwing Axes, and 1 Great Weapon. Pretty interesting. For Bretonnia, we've got 1 unit of Pegasus Knights up here, Paladin and Albric, a whole bunch of Peasant Bows, some Men-at-Arms, and a Healer. Over here, some Knights of the Realm. And it looks like more Grail Knights actually over here. Interesting. 1 elite choice. I have to keep them hidden from the Eye of Morslib as much as possible. Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, just look at that mustache, man. You know he's just completely fertile in every way. Speaking of fertile, man, look at those traps, dude. You've been hitting the gym. These Centaurs are yoked, absolutely yoked. Look at that 6-pack, those washboard abs right there. Pretty impressive, honestly. Like, I'm kind of curious how these guys actually like work out those abs. I don't know. Let's not think about it too much. Oh yeah, I love Pegasus Knights. Oh, the archers getting teed off right off the bat. You can see the Pegasus Knights moving on a vanguard here. They're going to be screened by the Butchers of Kalkengard, and Spirit Leech will be dropped on him already, but it looks like he's kind of just maneuvering around to try and harass. And keep in mind, I mean, yeah, they're going to drop a model, maybe drop a second model. No, just 1 model there. That's fine. Nope, looks like they did drop a second one. That's too bad. Can't really be healed much as a result, but yeah, the archers currently feeling the pain. The thing is, though, the archers are going to be able to pull up in range and start shooting the Eye of Morslib because Outer Region's playing a little bit close here to his vest. Meanwhile, over on the side, we're totally missing out on these Centaurs, getting caught in the woods just about. The Pegasus, the Pegasi, Albric here doing a little bit of damage, just putting a heavy push on that side. Meanwhile, Cygor's starting to take a little bit of damage. Now that the Butchers, oh, they're still kind of hanging around back here. Yeah, gotta be careful. The Pegasus Knights could try and rush in, but yeah, maybe bring the Grail Knights up like right here and then punch out. I don't know. Main thing is you want to use the time the Eye of Morslib is distracted by, you know, the archers and whatever else to bring the Grail Knights out and around, because yeah, it looks like they have been activated now. Because there's the expensive target that the Eye of Morslib will generate the best value shooting at. And here, really nice kind of charge. Pegasus Knights, bit of a fire and forget situation here. They're going to do a lot of damage. Might actually pay for themselves in that 1 charge, but they are going to get rear charge here by the Butchers of Kalkengard. So that's not good. They're going to try and pull away from that engagement there. The Beastmen are putting together their own push in the Bretonnian backline, very heavy with these Chaos Bonds. Starting to run out of steam a little bit, though, against the Peasant Tide here. And honestly, they are just chasing, you know, relatively cheap peasant units around, right? It's not the most impactful deal, but oh man, that Warp Gaze. Nope, Spirit Leech, actually. I thought it was going to be the Warp Gaze. It looks like the Pegasus Knights actually get drawn down there, and this is rough. Now the Warp Gaze comes in against the Grail Knights, freezing them in place, and that's a really, really nasty engagement. Oh man. They need to pull away as soon as possible there. Beastman push is pretty heavy. If he can stabilize with Albric over on this far side, get his healer bailed out, I mean, he's still got a lot of pressure, and the Beastman, I mean, the balance power is far falsely inflated right now because of the various things, but man, those Grail Knights just got absolutely wrecked. That was a nice play by Outer Region to be able to kind of set that up there. Took a lot of resources, but he did get it done. That being said, he's kind of sacrificed some of these units out in the periphery, and he's going to have to be careful. Butchers of Kalkengard now charging into a situation where these Battle Pilgrims, if they get anti-large from Albric, they actually do fire damage, and these cows, because they regenerate, will be weak to fire damage. They definitely want to pull out of that situation, do not want to fight here. And oh man, is Albric going to actually snipe Morgar here? Morgar is very hard to snipe in general, but if he goes down to Albric, that's going to be an absolute disaster. It looks like Albric and the Paladin now moving in as well. That is a great pick for Bretonnia to try and get back in this game, stabilize things a little bit. Butchers of Kalkengard come back up and around, trying to defend that Eye of Morsleep once again. These Knights of the Realm going in pretty heavy. They do manage to get an okay engagement, but just by the numbers here, they're going to end up losing out. But as long as Albric can keep kind of supporting here, and oh man, Morcar actually goes down straight up. That is absolutely massive, because that will actually affect the balance of power pretty significantly. Morgar is a huge point on the balance of power, and it looks like this Brave Shaman Lord of Beast desperately trying to get his Manticore summon off before he routs. He does. Oh man, that's going to be tough. Another little timing push to keep the Beastman spirits going. We do have some Knights of the Realm coming back from route over here, though. They can kind of corral some of these Beastman forces, start to chase them off. Looks like the Manticore going back after the caster. Albric and the Paladin need to kind of be aware of that and try and keep her safe. Looks like instead might be going after the Eye of Morsleep. Not really sure. Paladin, yep, it looks like he's going after the Eye of Morsleep there. Honestly, probably a good, pretty correct play. This damsel, though, she's running. I guess maybe try and get these Knights of the Realm in here to support. Looks like the Paladin actually moving away now. They do realize, oh man, maybe we need that healer. No, oh, she's just kind of getting hung out to dry a little bit there. Granted, probably had used up most of her Winds of Magic anyway, but at the same time, these Men-at-Arms here. Oh, let's see. Yeah, nice little charge here from Albric, actually getting the support of the Knights of the Realm as well with some of these Men-at-Arms. Those Men-at-Arms with anti-large, they don't have spears, they just have, you know, Albric's anti-large swords patented. They will do some really cost-effective damage to these Butchers of Kalkengard here. A lot of throwing axe fire being thrown in, but it's mostly being absorbed by the Knights of the Realm there as Albric and the Paladin get some work in, just wrecking those Butchers of Kalkengard models. And the Manticore Summon, unfortunately, still chasing the Damsel Lore of Life. I don't know, the Manticore Summon may end up just enraging away before it actually chases the Damsel of Life all the way off there. But right now, as it is, the Centaur is trying to make a push to clean up some of these routed, kind of tattered Bretonnian skirmish units. But this is nice, taking out this Eye of Morsleep here. Huge boon. Albric and the Paladin now coming down. Nicely done. The balance power finally kind of starting to pump back in Bretonnia's favor, I should say, as it should. Not letting up, still going all in, trying to finish off this Eye of Morsleep here. Very nicely done. It's going to throw a few more rocks before its very timely demise, but yeah, I can see the Damsel caster casts Regrowth on herself and is able to come fully back to the battle there after the Manticore Summon kind of fails to chase her off. So now at this point, looks like Albric and the Paladin just going to go after the next Beastman character here. I almost wonder if they shouldn't come support this infantry engagement. Try and get a terror route against some of these infantry and use the cavalry to try and chase them off, because there are still a lot of Beastmen skirmish cavalry here, and I mean, Albric can catch them to a degree, but he's also going to take a lot of skirmish damage kind of chasing them around, so I don't know. I mean, Bretonnia's still got to be a little bit careful here as to how they're going to finish this thing off. Try and waste some of the ammo there on the throwing axes on basically anything that's not Albric or the Paladin, pretty much, is the name of the game. Ray Shaman there, holding out strong. Oh, there's a nice hit. Getting rid of that leadership unit will be pretty important. But, oh man, that's not good. Butchers of Kalkengard actually came back from route way over on the side here. I don't know if Outer Regions actually realized this yet, but that is pretty nice for him. He still has some kind of source of terror on the field. But yeah, this is what he needs to do, use to just unify Albric with these infantry supports so that they can get side and rear charges, try and take out some of these infantry units, clean them up. Looks like the throwing axes are pulling up and around, though. I don't know. Things are looking pretty dicey. Definitely looking pretty dicey, and the terror route did not go off quite as intended there. Now, finally, the spear is getting terrified away. But Albric's going to have to be careful. This face full of throwing axes could hurt. Oh, he does get in. Gets an attack animation there. Able to dodge some of the shots, at least. And keep in mind, every unit model that he takes down is another one that is not going to be, you know, shooting its ammo at him, right? So, here we go. Terror route on the Blackhorns Ravagers. Managed to unify with some peasants there. And a regrowth. Very nicely done on Albric. Very timely regrowth. Still having that Lore of Damsel. Super critical in the late game. And with that regrowth, as you watch that regrowth tick, you'll see this balance of power just tick more and more in Bretonnia's favor as Albric's HP goes up. That's because characters count so much for the balance of power. But yeah. At this point, he's kind of just got to weather the storm of the throwing axes to a degree and try and not get horribly killed. But the Paladin can continue to pressure. Now that Albric's gotten some healing, he can get a little bit more aggressive and maybe try and go out and take out this, like, Brave Shaman Lore of Death, perhaps. But right now, this Paladin actually had a free opportunity to dive down in there, yeah. If he can just get a dive, that would be the best thing to do. Just engage them in melee. The Centaurs, they really ought to be just hanging back and using up their ammo as much as they can, but... Oh man, here we go, getting a nice melee engagement for the... oh, but they're able to mostly dodge. Only clips a few of the models there. Beautifully done by the Beastman player to dodge that out, but oh man, here comes the Butchers. Albric sees that, he's like, nope, direct charge. Oh, and he didn't actually get any damage in. That's unfortunate. It didn't actually do any damage to the Butchers themselves. He's now going to take a rear charge, might take a little bit of damage, but here comes the Paladin to try and support. Butchers then lose a model. Spirit Leech. Oh man, it's super close at this point. Bretonnia's pretty much got it in the bag, though, I think. Maybe. Albric's... Yeah, that you can see as the ammo starts to run low here on the Centaurs, the balance of power should go. Albric dodging most of the shots there, gets engaged in melee. Paladin needs to come back up and around here, yep. And absolutely down to the wire. Super, super good game. The Damsel taking out a few there. Yeah, Paladin gets a hold of one there. Albric gets a hold of another group there. Oh, takes out one of the Bray Shamans. Nice. Oh, he's just done. He's shattered straight up. Oh, yeah. Bretonnia Hero Hammer. That's how it goes, folks. And that's it. Terrify for the Beastmen. Wow, really, really good game. Another super, super good game. Oh, shoot. Did I totally miss check-in for the other tournament because that game was just that awesome? Oh, no. Checking in is now. Okay. I am checked in. Okay, so it looks like that's actually starting. I'm going to have to go ahead and end my stream. But, yeah, apologies. We didn't get through everyone today. That's okay. But it looks like this is kicking off. Let me just check here. Maybe not yet. But it does look like... Yeah, this is going to be starting. So, a big thanks to all of you for joining. Apologies for those of you guys who we didn't get to today. I will be hosting another King of the Hill tomorrow, so be sure to join for that. Yeah, I'm not gonna first person stream my games just because I want to be able to focus and do good. So yeah, I will catch you guys later, I guess.